The Chitrik Academy is dedicated in loving memory of Rabbi Tzvi Hirsh Chitrik.
Welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to learn from Amar Rebbe Lazar. The line ends with the word Ella, the dot over here, until the two dots, which ends with the line starts Nasan. In our previous Gemara, we learned the case that if a person is walking down the street holding a jug, and it breaks against a rock which was put by another person, the person who placed the rock in the street is responsible to pay for the damages of the jug. That is what we had learned in the previous brisa. Now, our Gemara is going to discuss that case. There are actually two versions of this Gemara. The first one starts where we are holding Amar Rebbe Lazar, so let's make a 1 here and 1 on the side. And this will go until Reb Nasan over here. And second version starts over here, so let's make a 2 to show that it starts on this line. Let us see. Amar Rebbe Lazar said, Lo Shanu. The Brisa did not say that the owner of the rock is responsible to pay for the damages. He only said in a specific case. Ella, only, sheniskal be'even, v'nishreif be'even. If the person carrying the jug tripped on the stone, on the rock, and then banged and broke his jug against the rock, then the person who placed the rock will be responsible. Avo niskal bekarka, but if the person carrying the jug tripped on the ground, v'nishreif be'even, and then his jug hit the stone, the rock, and broke, then the owner will not be responsible. The person who put the rock will not be responsible. So in this case, Rabbi Lazar says, only if this person holding the jug tripped on the rock and then broke his item, will the person who put the rock be responsible. However, if this person tripped on the ground and then his jug hit the rock, then the person who put the rock will not be responsible. It's this we see over here. Niskal be'even, if he tripped on the rock, then he'll be chayev. Niskal bekarka, if the person tripped on the ground, then the person who put the stone, will not be chayev. Let's continue the Gemara. And Rabbi Lazar continues, Keman, who does this prize go according to? Deloik Reb Nasan. It does not go according to Reb Nasan. Who is Reb Nasan? Reb Nasan is a Gemara which will be mentioned later on. Let's just speak about the case here to understand what the Gemara is saying. Reb Nasan is speaking about a case where there are two cows. One belongs to person A, and the other one belongs to person B. And this person, we could call him person C, he dug a pit in a public area. Now, cow A pushed cow B, and cow B fell into the pit over here. Let's just make a line. This cow fell into the pit and died. So Reb Nasan says that this person who owned this cow may collect from the person who owns this cow, and if it doesn't cover the full cost, then he may come to the person who dug the pit and collect money from him as well. So what we see from here, according to Reb Nasan, even though there are two things involved, the reason why it fell and the actual pit where it got killed, he can collect from both of them, both people, person A and person C. So this is not like the Tana of our brisa. Why? Because in our brisa, we had said that if the person tripped on the ground, so there was another reason why he fell, wasn't because of the stone, but his jug broke against the stone, he will not be responsible. According to Reb Nasan, he would be responsible even though there was a different cause for the item to break. This is the first version, the first way of learning the Gemara. Now let's go to the second version. Ikad Amri, there are those who say, we read the Gemara as follows. Amar Rebbe Lazar says, Loi tema beniskal, not only in a case where beniskal be'even, v'nishreif be'even hud mechayev, not only if the person trips on the stone and breaks his jug against the stone, then the owner of the person put the stone in Rishus Rabim, in a public area, will be chayiv. Avol niskal b'karka, however, we would think that maybe if he tripped on the ground, v'nishef be'even, and then his jug broke against the stone, pater. We would think that, but don't say that. Rather, what should we say? El afilu niskal b'karka, v'nishef be'even chayiv. Even if a person tripped on the ground and broke his jug against the stone, then he will be chayiv. The person put the stone there will also be chayiv. Will always be chayiv. Keman, who would this go according to? Reb Nasan. What is the second opinion saying? We had learned in the first opinion that depends what the person tripped on. Did he trip on the stone and then broke his jug against the stone, or on the ground? So in the first way of learning, we said if he trips on the stone, the person who put the stone there will be responsible to pay. But if he tripped on the ground, he will not be responsible. This is all according to the first version. So let's add now a whole nother section for the second version. Let's write here version. We'll write here number 1, according to the first way of learning the Gemara. This is number 2, according to the second way of learning the Gemara. That Reb Elazar would say that always the person who placed the stone will always be responsible to pay for the damages. It doesn't matter whether he tripped on the ground or if he tripped on the stone. The person who placed the stone in Rishus Rabim will always be responsible for the damages to the jug. Why would Reb Elazar say this? He would say this if he goes according to the opinion of Reb Nasan, who says that any acquaintance to the crime, anything that contributed to the cow getting hurt, whether it was the first cow or the pit, they will both be responsible. Just because another animal pushed this animal inside the pit doesn't make the person who dug the pit, doesn't take away the responsibility from him. Therefore, the same thing as in our case, even though the person tripped on the ground, we would still make the person who placed the rock in Rishus Rabim, and therefore the person tripped, be responsible. And this is the end of this lesson.